Hello, and welcome to the Pivotal College Years presentation on career exploration. Today, we'll discuss career exploration and planning your future. Together, we'll review the steps to start your own career exploration and show you how all this hard work is going to pay off. There are many paths your student can take after high school. I think we're all programmed to automatically think a four-year college degree is the only way. But there are many options available based on the career path you or your student is considering. Just wanted to point out some of the more popular options. We have the bachelor's degree, traditionally the four-year degree offered at colleges and universities around the world. The associate degree, and that's typically the two-year degree. We have certificates, which range from 6 months to a year, depending on the concentration. You'll typically find both certificate and associates at community colleges, and they can be a great stepping stone to further your education if you choose. And then there are the trades. And there are various trade prep programs run through higher educational institutions, unions, apprenticeship programs, and more. And something many people don't know is if you go to a school that is Title IV funded, you may be eligible for federal financial aid. But how do you know which direction is right for you or your student? The simple answer is career exploration. Let's take a moment to talk about when and where to start your career exploration. In our private practice, we've found career exploration for very mature students could begin as early as sophomore year, but often we work with students in their junior or senior year. As an adult learner that may be juggling a job and a family, your career exploration can start anytime you have that free moment. It's really just a matter of prioritizing the task. I do want to take a moment to say that I've helped students through the career exploration process that have had absolutely no idea what they were interested in, to some that were absolutely positive they knew exactly what they wanted to do, and everyone in between. I think the exploration process is important to everyone. Obviously, if you're someone who doesn't know what they want to do, it helps you figure it out. But it's equally important for students who know what they want, because it will often prove that they were right all along, and it strengthens their confidence in their decision. So let's look more closely at the exploration process that we'll discuss today. It consists of 4 steps: career research, reviewing education, a job search, and getting experience. You will start your research on the My Next Move website, which is managed by the Department of Labor. It's a wealth of information. It covers industry outlook, educational requirements, skill necessary by industry, among other things. It also has an assessment tool that helps make suggestions on possible career paths, which is very helpful. Career exploration really starts with your interests. So start with what you know. I recommend making a list of career possibilities that you already know you're interested in. Again, get recommendations. To get recommendations, you can ask friends and family, colleagues, whoever knows you best. You might be surprised what gold nuggets come out of those conversations. Now let's go over step 1, which is career research. First, you'll use all your career ideas and suggestions that you gathered to conduct a keyword search, and I'll show you in just a minute how to do that on My Next Move. In addition to exploring these options, you complete the interest profiler and explore the options it suggests based on how you answered the questions. Please remember, the interest profiler does not create an account for you, so write down your scores in each category the first time you complete it. This will save you from retaking the profiler each time you sit down to do research. But ultimately, from this leg of research, you should be able to create a list of 3 to 5 career options, it might be a little more, that seem interesting to you. Then you want to develop a pros and cons list for each idea on the list. 3 to 4 reasons you feel like it might be a good option for you, or any concerns that you developed along the way. Now let's take a quick guided tour out onto My Next Move to see it in action. So here we go. I have pulled up the website. So when you're doing this part of the research yourself, this is the homepage you should see. First, let's talk about keyword searches. So right down here on the left-hand side in green is where you can type in any of your ideas. So for instance, if you want to be a graphic designer, you type it in, you hit search, And on the next page is a whole list of ideas that are related to graphic design, which is great. You'll also notice these icons that are sunshines in the left-hand side of the page. These are bright outlook careers. So they are careers that are predicted to grow. It's a great place to start, but it's not the only options that you should look at if you're genuinely interested in something. So we're just going to click on graphic design. And this is the career path page. So there's a lot of great information here. You're actually going to see a list of job titles that you will be able to use in the third piece of your research. If there are videos at the top, they've been adding those over the years, go ahead and watch the video. It's usually 1 to 3 minutes and it's really good information. But you can read about what they do, what on the job is like, knowledge you need to have, skills you need, abilities. For those of you that have had access to a personality profiler, maybe a Myers-Briggs, that's very popular. You can tie those results to personality traits that typically do well in this industry. For those of you in high school that have some sort of career planning portal or access to something like that, a lot of times there is a Myers-Briggs based survey built right into those programs. So your student may already have that information. Technology, education, job outlook, and then another list of closely related jobs. If you like what this page has to say and you're intrigued and you're going, well, yeah, it looks like a possibility, you want to go down here and click through to ONET Online. If from this first page you know you're not interested, don't bother to click through because it is a lot more information to digest. I don't want you to die in the details if it's not something you think you're going to move forward with already. The tasks, the 5 that were on the previous page, are now 16. And the 5 technology skills are now 26. And as you see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. A lot of deep dive information here. So only spend the time there if you think you want to move forward. But that is a keyword search. Now we're going to go back to the home page. And I'm going to show you how to browse by industry. So again, if you're someone who thinks they know what industry they want to be part of, they're not sure what job that might be, you can say, oh, education is very interesting to me. Let's click on that. And then you're going to get a bunch of education related possibilities. So you can dig through, do some research, and see which ones might make sense for you. And then finally, the interest profiler. So right here on the right-hand side in purple, we'll call it, you're going to click the start button. And see this button right here that says enter scores, where I mentioned earlier there's no account that is created. These are the scores that you're going to write down the first time that you take the survey. And then you're going to just input them each time you come back to do more research. I will say no one does all of their research in one sitting because that would be many days. So you're going to come back a few times. So once you've got your scores in, you're going to hit next. Each of the categories has an explanation. If you care to know, you can go ahead and click on it. Some people even print some of this information up. They create a book. If you think you have a high school student that's a sophomore starting this journey, you might want to collect this information over the next couple of years and have a reference point for them. So if that's a book, if that's a folder on a desktop, whatever works best for you. You can read about job zones, and then you can read about level of preparation. And this is an important one because this is how much education you think you are willing to complete to be part of the industry of your choice. So if you're someone that says, I can't go anything past high school, that's a 1. If you think you're a certificate, or maybe you want to add a certificate to an existing education, you could choose a 2. We have associate level, which is 3. Bachelor's would be about a 4, and master's or above would be about a 5. So you're going to have to actually make this choice. We're going to choose 4 just for an example. So now we have all of our scores. We've chosen level 4, and we get our list. Now, if you look at this list, you'll notice that there are best fit options, there are great fit options, and then they also carried over the bright outlook. So you can certainly click through and get more detail. But if you decide that maybe you might be interested in more education than a bachelor's, you could easily toggle to 5 and get all of those suggestions, or you could go down to 3. So it's very easy to jump from one level to the next. And each time you click on a link, it's going to bring you right back to a career path page. You can read all of that information and start to create the list of the 3 to 5 options. And then you're going to do your pros and cons. All right, so that is my next move. Let's move back and talk about step 2, which is reviewing education. You can access educational information at the bottom left-hand side of each career page. In this section, you can start to understand what level of education is required. So you know if you're looking at 2 years, 4 years, certificates, or something else. You can also look at the educational programs themselves. So you can click through to finding training. Seeing the classes that need to be completed to attain the credential to enter the field is a great way to gauge your interest. For example, if you think you want to become a graphic designer, but 75% of the classes you need to complete to earn a bachelor's degree don't look interesting to you, you probably need to look at other options. But once you've used this information to possibly narrow down your list, you can move on to step 3, which is your job search. By reviewing current job postings, you learn many things, including pay, day-to-day duties, work environment, locations of opportunities, credentials that are necessary, and more. This is a very helpful piece for students to understand what the actual job might be like, ultimately helping them visualize if they can see themselves in that type of work. Indeed is an active job board, so it will almost always have what you need. However, you can also use tools like LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, any other job posting board. There are a few things to note when you're going through this part of the process, though. First, do not include a zip code when you do your search. So when you're typing in graphic design, don't let it default to where you live. This will allow you to see jobs in all locations. This will help the students see if there are certain types of jobs located in certain pockets throughout the country. So they may discover that they might have to move to become employed after college, or maybe it helps them decide where they want to receive their education. Maybe they want to be closer to opportunities. Remind your student that they will not know how to do many things being asked for in the job description. That is expected, and it is okay. There is a reason they need education. So please don't let this detail scare them off and really be the reason that they're not going to move forward. And you may find that credentials like degrees, certificates, maybe licenses being suggested for candidates to possess may be different from the major that your student is thinking about. And that's okay. There's always more than one path to a job. This part of the process could send you back to looking at other majors or training that could lead you to the same end. For example, you may think you want to be a civil engineer, but notice that they are also saying mechanical engineering credentials are good. So you might want to do research between the two majors and decide which one would be a better fit. But ultimately, by finding 3 to 4 job opportunities and reviewing them, the student will have a much better understanding of what a job in the field might be like. And again, when you're done reworking your list, possibly move on to step number 4, which is experience. Experience comes in many forms. Some people do all of them, others pick and choose. There are a few different ways to gain experience, right? Volunteering, reaching out to professionals in the field for job shadowing or informational interviewing, and internships, part-time jobs. Volunteering is a great way to get involved, meet people, and gain experience or exposure to your field of interest. Maybe it's a greeter at a hospital for someone interested in healthcare, or volunteering at the Humane Society for those who want to get involved in the world of nonprofits. There are many ways to get involved through volunteering. So it's also a great opportunity to meet people, which could be helpful now or in the future. Informational interviews are a meeting that you hold with someone that has the job that you might want or works in your industry of choice. In this meeting, you get the opportunity to ask them questions, and often you get to meet them at their place of business. So it is a great way to see things firsthand. Job shadowing is the opportunity to follow or shadow someone for a few hours to a few days, depending on the industry. Although you're typically not doing the work, it's an up-close opportunity to see that work firsthand. Interning and part-time jobs are also a great way to gain experience. Depending on the industry, you may need certain skills to be able to work in this capacity, but there are many organizations that are willing to take on interns with little or no experience, as it is a short-term learning experience. To find these opportunities, you can go to the organization's website and see if there's anything posted. You can apply and start the process electronically, but I also recommend following up with a phone call. You could just ask, especially if you know someone through volunteering or some other experience. It's just basic networking. You can even search on job posting boards like Indeed. Your school may be able to help. If you're in high school, your guidance office may have lists of organizations that other students have interned with or held part-time jobs, even volunteering. And if you're at the college level, that usually is in the career services department. And for adult learners, if it makes sense, sometimes you can use your current employer to explore. Maybe it's a mentor in the department you would love to work in someday, or you get to shadow someone or sit in on meetings. There are so many ways to secure experience opportunities. It is typically just a matter of using your network and asking. As you see, career exploration takes time, which is why we suggest you start now. Once you've worked through all these steps, you should have a much better understanding of what you're interested in, and you can start pursuing the education necessary to reach your goals. Through the career exploration process, I see students and families benefit in many ways. Confidence. The student feels confident in their decision, and the parents or the supporting group of people are more confident in the student's decision. They're ready to start exploring their educational paths. A network. By reaching out and getting involved, you now know people. They may be future employers, recommendations, references, and more. Experience. You have experience in the field. You have distinguished yourself. You have information for your resume, for college applications or other programs, but most of all, you have knowledge. And finally, peace of mind. Let's be honest, deciding on your future is a privilege, but it also can be stressful. Navigating career exploration, above all, gives most students and families peace of mind, and they feel more confident moving forward, finding the educational opportunities to meet their goals. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to listen today. You can find this information and more on the Pivotal College Years College Planning portal.